Go small or go home. That's arguably the current mantra of the automotive landscape. And Mazda is no exception. So we're going to check out their latest edition. I'm Chris from AutoAcademics, and today we're going to take a look at the 2016 Mazda CX-3 Grand Touring with all-wheel drive. Mazda obviously felt that something was missing. Was it, or had it been in front of us all along in the Mazda 3 hatchback? Well, if there's one thing Mazda does understand, it's that Americans love crossovers, which brings us to our tester today. It is a 2016 ceramic metallic Mazda CX-3 Grand Touring with all-wheel drive. Standard features include 18-inch alloy wheels, heated power mirrors with turn lamps, push-button start, heated leather trim seats, navigation, rear view camera, rear cross traffic alert, and active driving display. Optional equipment includes Mazda Mobile Start, rear bumper guard, and the GT I-ACTIVESENSE package that consists of radar cruise control, smart brake support, smart city brake support, variable rain sensing wipers, lane departure warning, auto on-off headlights, and high beam control. Total M.S.R.P is $29,690. LED lights have become a pinnacle of safety technology, efficiency, and just plain good style. They've even begun to garner brand identity almost as much as the emblem itself. Our Mazda CX-3 has not only LED daytime running lights, but headlights and fog lights too. And the headlights are adaptive, meaning they turn with the steering wheel to improve visibility around corners. Mazda states that the rear of the car is designed to convey a look of strength and power. I don't know about all that, but it does remind me of a certain hatchback. And I like it. When you open the hatch, you have to keep in mind that the CX-3 is a subcompact because there are only 10.1 cubic feet of cargo space available. Interestingly enough, the Sport and Touring models provide a reported 12.4 cubic feet of space. Maybe they don't have this nifty cargo bin. However, if you fold the rear seats down, you'll get a total of 42.3 cubic feet. Powering this crossover is a SKYACTIV-G 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that makes 146 horsepower and 146 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a SKYACTIV-DRIVE 6-speed automatic transmission that powers all 4 wheels. EPA estimated fuel economy is rated at 27 miles per gallon city, 32 miles per gallon highway, with a combined rating of 29 miles per gallon. AutoAcademics saw a similar 29.3 miles per gallon during testing on regular fuel. The back seat isn't bad once you get inside, but you do have to navigate that wheel well as it intrudes into the doorway. It can be snug for those in car seats, depending upon how tall the people in front are. This is because their feet are generally up higher, hitting the backs of the seats as opposed to settling underneath like an adult's. I do like the materials used back here. The leather is supple, the textures and colors on the door panels look and feel good, and the contoured headrests cradle my head perfectly. All right, up front is where a bit of deception comes into play, because Mazda did a commendable job of mixing real and artificial materials together. And you almost can't tell, that is, until you touch them. The aesthetics looks good, with all the contrasting colors, matte and shiny surfaces, and various geometric shapes. It looks premium even, which is very impressive for a vehicle priced under $30,000. Now, I've said it time and time again. This vehicle is small, so all of your buttons and dials are easily accessible. The screens and displays are attractive and useful, and there are even 2 cup holders. Or an armrest, but you'll have to choose. Or use some really small cups. So on that note, let's take her out on the road and see how she drives. So now time for the not so great news. I mean, everything can't be roses about this car, can it? For example, the engine's rather noisy. When you actually get on the gas, yeah, it makes as much noise as all those other 4-cylinder engines that we've come to love. Thankfully, it is nice and smooth. It is rather quiet once you let off of the gas and you're just kind of cruising down the road, as opposed to having to accelerate onto an on-ramp or a highway or something like that. One thing that I can say is that this engine is efficient. As always, with all the cars that we test, we do a lot of idling, a lot of stopping and starting, things like that. And this car is still averaging almost 30 miles to the gallon with all of that. Power is adequate from this 4-cylinder engine. It does make 146 horsepower and 146 pound-feet of torque, and that's nothing to write home about. But for a vehicle like this, where you're not looking for any type of monstrous horsepower, you're just looking for something that's going to be able to get the car moving when you need it to, well, this engine does the job. And now, back to the praises of this car, or this crossover. First, it does drive very similar to a car, which is why it's easy just to call it a car as opposed to a crossover vehicle. Its dimensions are very close. Yeah, it might have a little bit higher center of gravity, but besides that, it looks a lot like the Mazda 3 hatchback. And handling, well, let's just say it reminds me of another premium crossover that we tested not too long ago. I mean, it handles very well, it absorbs the bumps nicely, there are no major intrusions that come into the cabin, and overall, it's pretty nice. This CX-3 exudes a premium and sporty feel. The gauges look nice, you got a nice large tachometer there in the center, and even the steering wheel feels good in your hands. To be honest, about the only thing that they may have gone just a little too far on are these paddle shifters. Not necessary in this vehicle. Oh yeah, there was one final criticism. The lane departure warning can be a little sensitive at times and thus be a little annoying. Beeping every once in a while when all you did was drift just a little close to the center line. So, thankfully, it can be shut off, and it actually stays off until you turn it back on again, even when you shut the car off. So there you have it, guys. The 2016 Mazda CX-3 Grand Touring with all-wheel drive. If you're looking for a small vehicle that has premium appointments, tons of technology, and drives great, then this CX-3 crossover, it might just be for you. Or you can just get a Mazda 3. I'm Chris from AutoAcademics. Thanks for watching.